Hey, it's Topher right here on Geek Public Radio on geekpublicradio.com. How are you guys doing? I am kind of burnt out, but me and Chris are making a movie this weekend, or continuing to work on a movie this weekend. We have Silent Hill news, we have a trailer coming up, and a whole lot more right here on Geek Public Radio.
You're listening to the GPR podcast, where two old guys, talk about new games, movies, most things geeky, and generally be old in front of your eyes, not cold. Now, here's Topher and Crazy Chris, being all old.
Yes, being all old. You know how that goes.
I don't. It's not me. I'm not old. I don't know who the second old guy is they keep talking about. But
Yeah.
it's not me. There's definitely not gray in this beard. What is up, everybody? How the hell are you? This is Crazy Chris, and of course, I'm joined by Topher, the paranormal hobo, the one, the only. There are many imitators. There are none that are like him. But we have an exciting show presented to you guys tonight. We're going to talk about some gaming news, some movie news, some extra news, some boring news. We're going to have an entire smorgasbord of gaming and pop culture related news for you guys tonight. But before we get into the craziness of the show that is Geek Public Radio, we need you guys to do us a big favor. Like the show. If you are watching this on YouTube, like it. If you're watching on Twitch, like it. Subscribe on either platform. You can find us on twitch.tv/geekpublicradio, youtube.com/geekpublicradio, all those things. If you guys subscribe to the show, you can click the little notification bell and you will be notified every single time that we go live or do any single thing on the channel. We've got hundreds of videos for you guys to watch where we discuss a wide range of topics, man. You guys don't want to miss out. And it's absolutely free, costs you nothing, right? But the biggest thing that you can do to help us defeat the evil YouTube algorithm is, of course, to share the show with your friends. The more shares that we get, the more likes that we get, the more interactions that we get, the further promoted the show gets. We are getting bigger and bigger each and every single week, and that is thanks to the efforts of people like you guys. Big shout out to the people in India that are watching the hell out of this show, man. You guys are incredible, and I thank each and every single one of you. Seriously.
Oh, I am slightly worried where you're coming from.
But not even a little bit. I don't care. You guys keep on watching. You guys do exactly what you're doing. Don't change a damn thing. Listen to this guy. But yeah, seriously, big shout out. Found out like a bunch of people were watching us from Twitch over in India and love it. I absolutely love it, man. Having a worldwide outreach for the messages that we bring and for the stuff that we talk about, man. That's pretty humbling. So thank you guys. Big special shout out to all of you folks out there watching from that particular region of the world. We appreciate you guys very, very much. But like I said, some crazy gaming news coming out. There's been some speculation. I'm going to jump right into it if y'all don't mind. There's been some speculation with Tears of the Kingdom, which is the latest Legend of Zelda offering. It's supposed to be coming out in 2023 at some point. Supposed to be real soon. So hopefully we'll get that sooner rather than later. But apparently, Key, the person that lives inside the Master Sword, might be making a comeback. There might be some rumor floating around out there that the voice actor is going to be reprising their role. And then in addition to that, there seems to be some indications through leaked test shots and things like that, that there may be some companion action. Companions have long been a part of the Legend of Zelda franchise. You had, of course, everyone's favorite, Navi, who accompanied you through Ocarina of Time, was the most obnoxious thing on the entire planet, but can't underscore the fact that the things that she told you or showed you while you were first learning how to play were pretty helpful. And it's just most of us, once we got to like hour number -1/3, we were done listening to her voice. But, you know, companions have always been there for us through Skyward Sword, through Ocarina of Time, through Twilight Princess. All of the different franchise entries have had those types of companions, and we kind of lost that with Breath of the Wild, but it does appear as though maybe, just maybe, we might be getting a fresh take on the companions that may be joining us. So lots of options to choose from. As I said, Key looks like they're going to be a part of the adventure again. It does appear at the beginning of Tears of the Kingdom, you're going to be given the Master Sword. So it looks like you start with the Master Sword. So I'm not sure how they're going to break all that, but it is really cool. So it seems to be a direct sequel, no direct correlation of time. That's confirmed, like no confirmation of like how much time has passed between the two entries. So I think it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. I, for one, am looking forward to. It's one of my top franchises of all time, if not the top franchise of all time, rivaled maybe by the Final Fantasy entries. But there are several of those I could point to and say, what were you thinking? Whereas Legend of Zelda, I'm like, everything they did was pretty much gold. So I don't know. Let us know what you guys think. Are you excited for Tears of the Kingdom? You looking forward to maybe adventuring with new companions? Are you missing the wonderful voice of Navi as she guides you through your journey? Would you guys like to see that beautiful blue fairy come back and annoy you at every opportunity? Just remember to listen. That's all you got to do. Just listen or look. Anyways, what do you think, Chris?
Not very often.
That's a great strategy.
Yeah, great strategy, Cotton.
Let's see how this pays off. Doing well, man. So how was your week? I know we're both exhausted. We're both really tired, and we still have 2 more days of this movie making magic to unfold before us. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I've been excited all week for it. I know.
No, I'm excited for the thing. It's just like it's the burnout is real. Like I hit the point where I've been working, trying to do a lot of the stuff, and it seems
chat room's open now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
almost by myself on certain things, and it's like
I contribute where I can, which is to say, like I have like a 1% stake in this.
Well, I know. I mean, there's just some things that we're doing and whatnot, and trying to wrestle people and doing the whole, because this is
it's a big project. Oh, in fairness, it is a big project.
This is the largest film crew we've had, which
it becomes a lot more difficult to coordinate.
Not the most expensive. The most expensive is when we went down to Muscatatuck and filmed the Richard Watson
files.
Yeah, down there. So, but that was the most expensive. This has the most crew, and
which I think will pay out dividends.
Effects, the most, like, we're flying people from. We're not flying, but people are coming from all over the country, and I've had to arrange all of that. Like, everybody's travel money is where it needs to be. Everybody's able to check in when they get to the hotel room and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Anybody that looks at us and says, "Man, it must be so cool to do that," you are 100% correct, and we love it. But
what you're seeing is like me being burnt out.
Yeah. So the droopy face is not because he's had a stroke for the 14th time. It's literally just because my man is exhausted. And rightfully so, but it is almost over. We're at the tail end of it. We just got 2 more days.
Then the stress of actually getting all of the shots.
But that's going to be a lot easier.
We have like 30 some scenes to film this weekend.
Yeah.
And that's like 14 pages one day, 10 pages the next.
Yeah. It's I wouldn't say the most ambitious thing that we've done, but it does kind of feel that way with the amount of crew that we're going to have involved, the actors that are going to be coming off.
The food budget alone was $600.
That's not a lot
for 2 days.
That's not a lot. That's not a lot.
Just the hotel charged us, like we booked it through like Travelocity or whatever, and we were told a price with tax, and I was like, "This will be your final price."
Right.
I was like, "Awesome, cool." And I went over there. They charged us $300-400 extra.
Outrageously gross. Just gross.
So
I only book through ITG, so I'm stingy. I don't part with my money easily. Well, I've called them 4 times and let them know that I'm recording this call. How much am I paying? They're like, this much. I'm like, cool. Right. Because you try to charge me more than what I've asked you 4 times, and you
right. But that's what I'm saying. Like it's working through Travelocity. They guarantee the price. We pay like the extra $30 to guarantee whatever, and so the hotel upcharged us. And they weren't supposed to, and I put it to their attention. They said, "Oh no, we'll," and he kind of was like frustrated and whatnot.
No, we'll get your money back. We'll get your money back. Yeah, promise.
He was
promise.
He was like, "I don't know why she did that," and I was like, then she's mumbling something from the back, talking about like she added multiplied something by something, and that's how it got. She got the whatever, and he's like, yeah, no, so like we paid a couple $1,000 for
room and board.
for room and board when it should be less than 1,000.
Right. Which,
So
all things that you're going to run into when you guys work on movies. So we say this to you guys all the time. As much as we love this, the behind the scenes stuff, there's a lot that goes into all of this. And that's not for you guys, right? You guys get to sit back and watch the movie and enjoy. And that's the product that we want to put out for you, right? And that's why we do it. If you ever think about getting into movies, this is the advice we will give you because it's the greatest. It's the greatest advice I've ever heard my entire life. Do not get into movies to make money because you don't. You just won't. All right. Hollywood makes money. Good for them. Sometimes they make money. Bros, sometimes they make money. But more often than not, all these films that you see, most of those people didn't really make anything. Like the studio, they may have made some money, but they really probably
the
didn't.
studio always counts it. They will massage the books to where everything is a loss,
right?
Because they cover their producers get paid out of that. All of the stuff, like after everything is paid, then even like if they made $1 billion, they'll find enough back end
back end fees, taxes,
like we
screw it up contracts with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, we'll pay for this, we'll pay for that, yada yada yada. And now
but don't get into movies to make money. Get into movies because you love to make movies. Like that's it. 100%. Get into movies because you love to make movies.
I have to keep reminding
reminding yourself.
Yes.
There you go. I got you.
I talk for a living.
But it is going to be fun, man. We love shooting these horror movies. It is spooky season. It's the best time to do it. I thought about writing like a really quick, like 5 list of movies to watch, like unmissable movies.
Well, we literally covered last year. So if you that's like the master's class on like.
Oh yeah, we went over a lot of movies last year, which were great. Like we compiled a list of movies together. His and I, he and I like worked this list together, and we had some pluses, some minuses, some things we agree with, some things we didn't. But Hellraiser released, like the new Hellraiser came out. I haven't had a chance to. I've been to work all day. That is my go home project. Like as soon as I get home, Hellraiser's coming on.
So I just watched Werewolf by Night.
I saw that. The ad for it. Was it any good?
It's not a feature.
It's a short, right?
It's 40 some minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they were going to like make it any longer or do anything else with it, but it's like a special event. I was like, oh, that's what they're.
Was it? I mean, did you like it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I was kind of figuring. I'm like, was it By Night Studios that put it together?
No, it was Disney. It was based on the Marvel Werewolf by Night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm tracking. Was it animated?
No.
It was okay.
But it was shot like it's supposed to be shot like the 1930s and
monster movies.
So it was like black and white with the weird like depth of field and all that other stuff that you get with the it had that air to it, and it was like I said, all black and white until the very end. Then it pulled like some Wizard of Oz thing, and then it was in color.
All right, neat. Maybe I'll check it out. Marvel is a Marvel shorts, Disney short. Like they're never. I shouldn't say they're never any good, but a lot of times those aren't.
It felt like it was something for a younger audience, even though there was blood and like people were getting killed.
Well, I mean, what is it? What our movie's rated T for teen. So I mean, it's not rated T for. I think it's PG-13, right? Isn't Black Book?
We couldn't afford the $3,000 to have it rated.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so our movie's not rated, but it's not. What is it? Not suitable for children under the age of 13. I think is what it actually says. Like not under a certain age, but it's still considered like younger audiences are okay to watch.
Yeah, no,
this.
like literally, like
no nudity, no crazy nonsense.
There's some blood, some cussing. There's nothing else.
The new movie that we're working on is rated R. Go F yourself. Like, period.
With a tree branch.
With a tree branch in a Sam Raimi film. Like, like we are 100% going out with this one because we all agreed we liked Black Book. We enjoyed it. It's an award-winning movie.
It was 6. It took us 6 years, and when I started it, it was for my son's age, like
right.
That he was,
and it evolved from that point,
ago.
right?
Well, it stayed true to its roots in that sense of like it was made for a younger audience. It was for your preteens and whatnot to be able to watch something and get it. That's why one of the whole things is a Scooby Doo.
Where are you?
You know, but yeah,
speaking of Scooby Doo, by the way, Velma's gay. There you go. It's out there.
Well, she's also racist.
Apparently,
because they
how did that? Wait a minute. What?
The video game.
That's yes.
Her special power
was to call the cops. Yes. Oh my god, I remember that.
She called her cops on like one of the.
I think it was like, versus.
Called the
something
cops
versus
on LeBron James.
Yeah, it was like there's a whole mashup of different people. But yeah, she's like, and you're in trouble now. The whole nine. Yeah. So Velma is lesbian and racist. So there you go, folks. Enjoy. Which, by the way, I need to talk about it for like 2 seconds. Not because I actually care. It's a freaking cartoon characters. I don't care whose genitals they decide or don't decide to put in their mouth. I don't care. But my confusion is she kissed Shaggy. That was a whole thing. That was canon. That was a whole thing.
She was just confused.
Which is fine, but wouldn't that make her? I don't know. I can't keep up, and I don't care enough. But I'm like,
why make that a thing? Because you're not seeing like any relationship stuff with like Daphne or Fred or. Whatever.
I mean, you kind of are like there's the tension behind it, but they never really overly. I don't know. It's just weird to me to sexualize in any way, whether it be relationship.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's a cartoon. Number one, and it's for kids. Like, who cares? Representation, fine. Like before, I'm cool. Like, it's great. Like, for instance, you and I have long on this show repeatedly talked about if you want to have a movie that's inclusive and represents people, then go make your own.
Right, and they did.
And it, which is fine, totally. But you know what?
Niche people are only that if you're going to target that audience.
But hold on,
that's the audience that's going.
But hold on to that. So Michael, it was Eichner, Billy Eichner. Was it Michael or Billy Eichner? Anyway, whoever made that, I think it was Billy Eichner. Kudos, good job, thank you for doing exactly what it is that is what you need to do. In order to promote those types of things, like you have to, there's going to be failures. I promise. The very first film that was ever made, probably the second, third, fourth, and fifth movie that were made in that vein, probably failed miserably. But you've had movies like Philadelphia, right? You've had movies. There's another one, 2003. For the love of God, I cannot think of the name of it. That are that have been like Rent. Rent was another good one, right? Rent is another good example of that.
I preferred the.
But my point is, like, Rent was like, it was heavy centric on that. Now, granted, its primary focus was on AIDS, and I understand, but it still had like a heavy representation from specific LGBTQI plus communities. Cool, great, and it did fine. Bros was heavily targeted in a very small niche market,
right? And then, that's the thing is like.
But they did what I wanted. Like, that's what I want you to do. Please do that. Like, if you want to have those movies, then go make them.
But it's the conversation that's now going around that, because now it's like, well, the only reason it fails is because everybody's homophobic.
Yeah, and it's because
you literally geared it towards one audience.
Not only that, but hold on a second. It's a rom. Let's start with the obvious. It's a rom-com. There are plenty of movies that have been coming out over the past couple of weeks that are not rom-coms, that are probably more interesting to most male audiences. Let's just talk about male audiences that are probably more interesting to male audiences. Most men they're not going to choose to go see a rom-com. So they have to be dragged,
right?
Usually with their girlfriends to see a rom-com. Sleepless in Seattle, stuff like that, right? They have The Proposal, things like that. It's
not really a date movie.
Not really. No, it's not. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, I have gone to see several movies. Like, funny enough, Shaun of the Dead is a rom-com. And people don't really understand that that's actually what it is. It's a buddy comedy rom-com. And I love it. It's one of my favorite movies.
Someone said, which cartoon, please? And like, still holding a torch for Velma, personally.
Hey, that's okay. Believe me, I'm pretty sure if you are 34 Velma, you'll find it. Don't actually do that, folks. Swear to God, don't do it. But if you do, you're going to be, that's fine. But with those types of movies. What was I saying? You've basically alienated specific audiences. So men aren't going to want to go see it because it's a rom-com like that. Right. That right there, boom, right? You just half the population of the United States. Zoom. Then you made it a gay movie, which is fine, totally whatever, not a big deal. But women don't typically go to a movie to see men that love other men, because that's not interesting to them. That's not the type of life that they would be able to emulate.
They will talk about it. They'll say, "Oh, you should go see it." But
right. They won't actually go see it. Right. So you've basically taken women at that point, and I'm talking your standard, whatever stereotypical. And I'm quoting here, people. You're taking your stereotypical type of woman who's not going to be interested in that in so much as that she's not going to relate to those types of characters.
Right.
She's not going to relate to that. So it's not as interesting to her. Women are by nature more invested in emotional type of stories. And
men like to blow shit up.
Right. And men like to blow shit up. Right. I mean, and of course there's crossing no matter what species or whoever, like there's obviously differences. Right.
Apparently,
everybody's the same, whatever. Everybody has different tastes.
What's wrong with Velma? So somebody didn't make it to find out that they
Velma's gay.
Yeah,
there you go. Velma's a lesbian. I mean, they just don't R34 Velma. Don't Google search R34 Velma. That's a whole thing, and it's apparently a whole thing. Just don't do it. Like a whole thing. Don't do it. Anyways, so when you make a movie like Bros, you're alienating specific groups from being able to watch the movie, which fine. You make niche movies. Horror is a niche movie. Horror type is a niche film.
And you're not going to make as much on a horror movie.
You never will.
Anything else.
100% will not do it. It just won't happen. I think the highest grossing horror film of all time, I'm pretty sure, is Jaws. And it wasn't even really technically a horror movie.
Misunderstanding what we're talking about.
Oh, are they might be. What's
do you live in a cave?
Oh no. I think the comment section of "Do you live in a cave?" is duh. Everybody knew Velma was gay. I think that because that's been the popular conjecture for a long time. It was
the oh my as we were talking about Bros.
Do
you live in a cave?
I don't know. No, but like I said, is it because I have a caveman beard? That's what it is.
I'm getting a gay vibe off you, blow shit, ironically.
That's true. He and I have been in a relationship for like 20 years. So we've only known each other for 16. Like, that's how strong our relationship is.
That's the thing. That's like I said, that's the misunderstanding. We're not talking about it being a bad movie because it has gay people in it.
I haven't watched the movie. I'm not giving I'm not giving a judgment on the movie. I don't know.
Literally just saying that people are complaining that it was a low grossing,
because people were homophobic, right?
And they claimed it was homophobic when it's I'm not expecting Disney I'm gonna put this out there. My horror movie.
I'll put this out there. I would say let's give it the benefit of the doubt and say 50% of the people who didn't go see it were homophobic. Let's just say 50%. That movie still wouldn't have. I mean, you're still leaving out another half of the people who didn't go see it for various other reasons. So I mean, you're still not gonna hit the target.
What I was saying is throwing the blame around for
a movie flop.
When it's a niche movie and the market cap for that movie isn't like, you're looking at like 10% of the population is the target for the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. I don't have any particular interest to watch it.
Here's where I make the listeners mad. It was like, because if you think that we're talking about, it's a bad movie because of that, then you're not listening to the conversation and you're the problem.
Partly. Yeah. I mean, I could agree with the statement, but that's
I love you.
Right. We love you guys to death. And that's the thing. We're not attacking anybody. Like I said, if you happen to catch me at the very beginning of this conversation, I said Billy Eichner did the right thing by making a movie.
Yeah. Like it's just not
it's not going to be an appealing movie to everybody. And it just won't. Even the whole population could be gay. And not everybody's going to see it. Right. That's just going to happen. Like
all of my friends who went and saw it said the same thing. Well, one their significant other was like, "Oh, I really liked that movie," and then the other one was like,
"Meh,
meh."
So I've heard it was funny,
and I'm talking about the gay my friends who were gay who went to go see it.
I've heard conflicting reports. I've heard people say it was really funny, and I'm sure it will be. Like some of the cultural references in that movie, just in the trailer, I was like, that's pretty funny, right? Yeah. Just like watching, because I've been to these chat rooms. I've heard the bickering. I've seen it. I've literally watched it unfold, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's some vindictive, barbarous shit being thrown around out there right now, right? So seeing that kind of displayed on a screen for like even just the previews, I was like, that's funny because it's pretty accurate, right? I like it, right? And so it's got a true to life feel to it. So I mean, am I interested in seeing it? No, not really. Will I see it at some point? Yeah, probably. I'll probably throw it on one day. I'm not going to go to a theater though.
I prefer things that
blow up,
blood and guts.
I'm a horror movie fan.
So
I'm a horror movie fan. Every Disney, like every once in a while, a Disney movie will catch my attention.
Well, that's what I was saying. It was like, I'm not expecting somebody to come watch my horror movie.
Nope.
Whose main thing is Disney.
Right. And if our movie flops, then
I mean, we're not going to get anywhere near what these movies we're talking about. It's a small independent film.
Yeah. And that's the whole point of it, right? Is we make movies because we love to make movies. And that's what we do. And Billy Eichner made the movie because he wanted to make the movie. And good on him. He should be proud of the fact that he made the movie. And from all accounts, he's proud of the movie. That's its reward. Were you looking to make $1 billion off of it? You were going to be disappointed from the start. But you made a movie. Be proud of that. That's it. Move on. The movie didn't do what you thought it would do. It happens. But you're setting yourself up for failure.
Engaging.
Yeah, stop it.
Well, no, because like I said, not everything is defined by gender and sexuality unless you live in Midwest U.S. And I think that is what people show you on TV. That is not the foot on the ground, whatever. That's the BS you're being fed. And
well, I mean,
like I said, a lot of this stuff is just churned up to make people have these conversations or whatever, and they're not even conversations that are real.
Yeah.
Because
that's not the conversation we're having.
The whole point is like for people who know me.
Here, just say
whatever.
You know what? This is easy. This is the easier part of it, right? And actually, I feel like that's actually more. So, like, okay, so
no, you're homophobic because I'm a bisexual, and I am talking about how this is going. And the realistic of the thing, and yet you're coming at me saying that my views are wrong. So by your own logic,
now you're homophobic. Right? We had that whole entire conversation, but the point being is there are specific niche movies that are going to draw a specific crowd, and that you will get some outreach beyond that. Like there are people who don't like horror movies that bought Black Book as support, for support, right? Which is great. And we appreciate every single one of them. And Bros is they're going to have, Blu-ray sales. They're going to have streaming sales. All of those things, they're going to recoup their budget. It's going to happen.
It just came out.
Right.
So that, being surprised
that's the thing.
A niche movie didn't do well on opening weekend or opening month or whatever.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's the blame game that this is the chief complaint that I have. This is the chief complaint that I know you have.
Repressed. Can I ban that person?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, it works for the big streamers,
right? No, ban. No, right? That's fine. Let them have it. But the chief complaint that I have is moving forward. Every studio now seems to have this indication that if you don't like a specific thing, it's because of XYZ reason. Whereas it's not just a matter of taste.
And it's all about being.
I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of Pearl Jam. I'm not a big fan of Pearl Jam, right? And I used to like Pearl Jam songs to a certain extent, right? But the movie Ted literally ruined Pearl Jam for me, right? Because of that scene. And now when I hear him sing, it just A-I-O-U, and I can't stop. Like every single time I hear the songs now, I'm like, God dang it. So it's just like I don't listen to him as much now. Am I influenced by the movie? Yes, of course. That's what happened. But at the same time, my tastes have also evolved beyond a certain threshold, right?
Right.
I don't strictly watch movies like Step Brothers or Talladega Nights.
Never watched Step Brothers.
Which is fine.
Never watched Talladega. I mean,
do I think silly toilet humor is hilarious? Yes, I do, because I'm an immature 5-year-old. Like 100%, I do. But at the same time, I also like gritty documentaries. I very much enjoy them. I like going on there and watching things by Francis Ford Coppola. Like I enjoy those types of films, 100%. Do I like action films? Yep. Do I like murder mysteries? You got it. Do I like media in general if it's presented to me in a unique light? Yes. Yes, I do. That's what it is.
Well, no, like
there are
what I was
certain
saying,
appealing
like,
movies to me, and
right,
some
but
are not.
like it's the whole strikes me as the whole I'm offended on behalf of other people thing. That I literally said that I'm in the community that you were defending against me. But that wasn't the conversation. That wasn't what we were saying. So
yeah, and that's part of it too. Can we be clipped and probably taken out of context? Sure.
Yeah,
But
like
that's going to happen to
then
everybody.
I will follow it with my following clip and say,
here we go.
You know,
That's why every single one of our videos goes to our server, so that way we have all of the footage, not just clips. So
right.
Always a rebut in tow, 100%. Support every single movie maker that wants to create the movie that they want to create, and when it's unique and original, knock yourself out, 100%.
And that's
full on support.
And
round of
I was
applause.
actually, if we were able to get to it before being beaten with the PC hammer, there are movies that people have been calling out for something new and original and what for years. And every time something new, original, and different comes out, it fails.
Usually, yeah. And that's why most of Hollywood's formulaic. And it is. That's why. You know what? I saw a movie. I was watching a movie today called Escape from the Field. The entire movie was shot in a cornfield. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this movie and I was just amazed. I'm like, amazed. Corn. Anyways, I'm watching it and I was like, no way. This entire thing cannot be in just a field. And it was. The monster was literally I'm ruining it for you guys. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Escape from the Field. The monster was literally a dude that had dressed himself up in camouflage and corn. Like literally had taken like the stalks and the corn and like made himself like a particular degree of camouflage and was hunting this group of people. But he was a human being. So there wasn't even monster makeup. Like this was all practical effects. And I watched it. I was like, and they had big name stars in there too. The guy that played Juice from Sons of Anarchy. He was also in the not Days of the Dead. My God, the new one that had Batista in it. I did a whole review on this stupid movie. I can't remember what the freaking name of it is, but anyways,
was it that jail or the bank heist movie with the zombies?
Yes, yes, basically what it was. It was essentially Ocean's 11 with zombies. Exactly. But he was in that movie, and then there was a couple of other more B-list type actors that were in there as well. But I was like, I guarantee the cast budget was more money than they spent on the production budget. I guarantee. There's no way.
Right.
And I watched it, and it kept my attention, and I was like, they did it. That's a wholly unique movie. And people were like Children of the Corn. That took place in a town that happened to be surrounded by cornfields. Not the same thing.
Because that's like the village and all of the
right, like singular locations that are used as like isolation towns and stuff like that. But they always included more people.
I mean, if you look at this stuff, like something different when you get into Tusk, for example,
right?
That was completely something out of the box. He was stoned, and everybody said that he brought it up on a podcast. Everybody said, "Yeah, let's watch it."
Right.
And then it gets panned because it's different. It's not the,
I mean, it is a unique body horror film for sure.
Yeah. So, and like, that's literally the point we were making was
new, unique, out of the box ideas. Good on you. It's not going to succeed.
If you're going to go into a niche market,
then expect niche money. Expect niche numbers. That's what's going to happen. And unfortunately, with new ideas in Hollywood, that is the only way to create, as I said, the first, second, third film. They probably didn't do that great. But once the formula got established, people began to enjoy those types of films. Then money started to be made. Then Hollywood was born, etc. And it moved on from there. You have to fail in this industry. You have to fail in order to get your ideas to take off. There is no way around it. It has to fail, but you have to put it out there. You have to present it to the market. That's what Bros was to me. Bros was literally presenting it to the market. In my opinion, that's exactly what it was. I just disagree with the handling of it after the fact. That's all we were saying. But speaking of new films, you can find movies, games, books, all kinds of crazy stuff on Humble Bundle. And that's a great spot to go if you guys want to pick up, wholly unique things, right? As a matter of fact, Humble Bundle's got this kick-ass sale going on right now with some of the greatest RPGs that have ever been assembled in the D&D vein, right? So they've got Pathfinder campaigns, etc., Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Dark Alliance, all of the cool classic RPGs that you can play as a video game for like $20 right now. And that's like a total of something like 400 or 500 hours of RPG play that you can get out of these games for $20, man. You absolutely cannot beat games like that, right? Or you cannot beat a deal like that. So if you guys want to check that out, you should go over to humblebundle.com. Use the link in the description of the show down below where you guys can get all the classic deals. I say it pretty well, but honestly, Cartoon Topher does it a lot better than I do, and he's so freaking adorable. I just have to give him some screen time. Cartoon Topher, do me a favor, buddy, and take her away.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Humble Bundle sells games, ebook software, and other digital content. Its mission is to support charity while providing awesome content to customers at great prices. They launched in 2010 with a single 2-week Humble Indie Bundle and have grown into a store full of games and bundles, a gaming membership service, a game publisher, and more. Join them and pay what you want for curated bundles of games, media, and software. All proceeds support charity and the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Visit a link on the screen and in the description of the video to support the channel and help the cause.
God dang.
Hit that button!
The black screen!
Hit that button!
Yeah, cartoon Topher, just absolutely ridiculously adorable. But speaking of new movies, in similar veins, right? We're taking classic ideas and turning them into new movies, which I'll talk about another one right after we watch this trailer. The new Super Mario Brothers trailer just released, man. Chris Pratt Chris Pratt's going to be playing the legendary Super Mario. I have not watched this trailer yet. It did release today. It was something I told Topher that we were going to watch with you guys. So we're going to throw that up on the screen right now. And we're going to, nope, not us. Nope, not like that.
No.
We're going to throw that up on the screen for you guys right now. So we're going to talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie trailer. Very excited. I don't know. The Penguins. Nice. No accent. feel like you only to watch this. Yeah, what's the day for my birthday? Let's go. I feel like you only wanted to watch this. Got it? Because you wanted to show off your fungus knowledge.
my
You wanted to let everybody know that you're a fun guy.
right.
Huh. I guess I'm going to watch it because I'm a freaking Nintendo fanboy, so duh. But I'm a little surprised that it's used Pratt's voice. Like there was no,
and that's literally been the thing. One, the guy who did the
weird.
voice originally,
yeah,
is still around doing the voice of Mario. So them not
Martin, Martin. I feel like Martin Antoinette. I think that's what his name is.
It's one of those.
God dang it! It's gonna bother me.
So that's he's still around,
Right.
and they went with Chris Pratt. I'm not upset about that, but
No.
there is no. I mean, you give him a New York accent, something.
He's the Brooklyn plumber, so that makes sense. That's what they did with Lou Albino. Not Lou Albino. My God, Lou.
Was it Captain Lou? What?
Yeah, Captain Lou Albano.
Albano.
Yeah, Captain Lou Albino. Jeez, I can't believe that. Lou Albino. Good God. Oof. All right,
I'd still want to know how he got rubber bands into his cheeks.
Charles Martinet. That's it. That's where I got the Martin from. Charles Martinet. Or Martinet. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Probably Martinet, but yeah. Literally walked in completely like he wasn't even supposed to have the script or anything like that. He just walked in and he just dropped the voice and they're like, yeah, exactly like that. Do it again.
But no, that's what I'm saying is like he's been the voice of Mario for ever. Why not just stick with? I mean, that would have lowered the budget.
I'm sure it would have lowered the budget, and
I'm pretty sure that that Pratt was more expensive.
Sure, probably name recognition. I mean, the fanboys, we would have gone to see the movie. Charles Martinet would have been the voice. Would have been like, oh my God, they got the original voice. Like that would have been cool, right? But Chris Pratt does bring some practicality to it, so that's the name recognition that more people.
Reading on the thing is like how many people actually say there's already been a movie. We were fine with it.
No, we were not. No one was fine with that movie. The people who were in that movie, the people who made that movie, were not fine with that movie.
Well, what's funny is the people who grew up with that movie, like actually, love the movie.
Like I just flashbacks of that movie right now.
Just like the people who grew up with the prequels, love the prequels.
Sure.
So what's funny is everybody came together and didn't like the new.
I do love that somehow Disney created an entire trilogy that made people love the prequels. Like, you know what? Yeah, these prequels aren't that bad. I'm looking forward to that movie. It's gonna be really fun. I think the fact that Jack Black is Bowser all day, like it's Super Mario Brothers. I was going to go see it, and then you throw in Jack Black, and I'm like, exactly that. Like 100%. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's totally a must see for me. I'm probably going to drag the kids to it at some point. Like I said, right for my birthday, it's my birthday present. I'm going to drag them to go see it. They gotta go see a movie with me. Dad, I don't want it. Shut up. Get a car. We're gonna go see Mario. But yeah, so moving on to some actual news, right? So we got to watch the cool trailer. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. The director of the Silent Hill games has confirmed they are in fact making Silent Hill games. We already knew it was a rumor. We'd already seen the leaked footage. The confirmation is out there. It is now official. They are in the works to make several new games. And I don't think he confirmed the remake. I don't know. The article closed on me. I'm not even going to bother reading it again. But he is, in fact, working with the Silent Hills team. I think it's called the Silent Team, what they call them. They are in talks right now. They are working on at least 2 projects, and there is speculation that they're going to be working on many, many more.
Nice.
And he also shut down the rumor that we were all just holding out. This is like a little bit true. nobody really thought that it was, but we all just kind of wanted to hope and hope Hideo Kojima is not involved in any of the projects. None of them, as in like zero of the projects. They're all coming from Konami, and that is that.
That means they're going to be terrible.
Nah. It's, I mean, without, like I said, I talked about this last week, without Silent Hill as a whole survival part of the survival franchise, you would not have games like Outlast, games like Condemned, stuff like that. You would not have those types of games. I mean, even the Dark Souls really took a heavy influence from games that were just rooted in Cthulhuian horror. I like that, by the way. It's a Cthulhuian. Cthulhuian. There we go.
Making up words.
But because Cthulhu is a real word.
Lovecraftian would be the
Cthulhuian.
Lovecraftian would be the proper nomenclature.
No, make up my own words. Well, modern day Shakespeare. By the way, I'm going to just start doing that. Like every single book that we release, every single story that I write from now on, I'm going to have at least 5 words that absolutely are not real words.
I totally had like.
We're not talking about your stupid. No, absolutely not. You want me to throw shit at you? Use what you want. For those of you who do not know, I am the voice of the Audible for the Black Book that you can find on blackbookmovie.com. You guys can find all kinds of things. You can also go to Rutledge Productions, who's a proud sponsor.
Easy for you to say.
Apparently not. The proud sponsor of this show. You guys can check out Rutledge Productions. Go there. You can find all of our movie merch. You can find our books, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can leave us nasty reviews if you really, really want to, because we love bad press. We don't care. But I have the voice of the Audible for that. And then this guy decides that one of the Audibles that he's going to have me, one of the stories he's going to have me read for the Black Book was an ethnography. And then he just left me there to read this ethnography. I don't know if you can hear the derision in my voice, but my God, it's palpable and real. So he makes up an entire pantheon of gods with completely made up names. On top of that, the entire story is narrated. Almost 80% of the story is narrated by a Cambodian medicine man. And I had to somehow jury rig a Cambodian accent out of my ass. I spent an hour and some change studying Cambodian videos, Cambodian accents, listening to Cambodian people talk in their native language, like all of it, just to even imitate a small fraction of what the voice would sound like. And it first sounds like Bruce Lee when I first started. And then I kind of slowly slip into like a more natural Cambodian accent, and it's still not great, but God dang it, I tried. But the fact I got to the part of the story where he's describing in his Cambodian accent this pantheon of made up deities and in realms, like he had realms for these freaking deities. And I had to describe all. Needless to say that as he arrived to check on my progress, I threw a book directly at him and was cussing him up one side and back down the other. And then when I was editing the sound footage, because that's something you got to do. So as I'm editing the sound footage, I get to this particular part. He's literally in there as I'm doing this. I get to the part where I'm actually on the Audible cussing him up one side and back down the other because I was so angry. But it's a great story. It's exceptionally well written. Very proud of the story that you created for the Black Book. Seriously, it was a really good story. I
got cussed out.
Yeah, but you got cussed out for it, like 100%. And also,
I'm talking about like here when I was selling.
Oh yeah,
like I was told.
That's right, the festival.
That I was I was.
You're selling a cursed book.
It was like,
to the person in the chat room, if you want to talk about being secluded Midwestern or nonsense, like that, we know what that is. Like we're not. That's not us. We know what it looks like.
She literally came over and was like, "Well, what's this about?"
You're going to hell.
And I told her, and she's like, "What? Like the Satanic Bible?" I was like, "No, this is this is fiction. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just 13 short stories making up this book. Yada yada yada."
It's called an anthology, lady.
She said, "Are you trying to get people to read it so they can become cursed and become evil and this, that, and the other?" And I was like, "No." What are you talking about? And it's like she's like, I was like, it's a work of fiction. I don't want to hear it. Storms off. Jesus. Then takes my picture puts it on Facebook saying that I need to be expunged from town because I am spreading
the hate and evil of Satan.
right.
Yeah. We know what pitchforks and torches look like, folks. And it's not usually online. But anyways, the ethnography that I was reading, I was getting to this point. All the words that he made up had never been spoken out loud to anybody's ears, except for mine. So the way those words are pronounced, I told him I was not going back to pronounce them the way that he wanted me to pronounce them. I literally looked at him and said, "Tough shit. That's how they're pronounced now."
I was like, I
okay.
I didn't really
didn't argue.
I didn't have a pronunciation for them to begin with.
He was just like, "Sounds good." So there you go. Those words are made up. So there's your ethnography. I'm going to do that with every story I write from this point forward. There's going to be at least 5 or 6 words in there that are just completely nonsense made up words. That's how
as long as you get past our editor, we're fine.
No, I want them to not get past the editor. I want the editor to stop every 4th or 5th paragraph and go, "What? What is XYLYQ?"
But you know that means it's going to cost more money to get them out.
I'll front it. I don't care. I will die on this hill. Oh my God. But yeah, if you guys want to go to RutledgeProductions.com and check out any of the works that he's written that I have helped to write, the movies that we have been a part of, you guys can check all that out there. So all that is available to you guys. Let me see. What was the other thing I was going to talk about? We got the trailer.
And speaking of, and to,
I need my list.
And speaking of stuff to like with Rutledge Productions, it is a veteran owned.
It is. It is a proud veteran owned, and we employ many veterans.
And it is also owned by a member of the LGBTQI.
Also correct.
So,
yeah. So, but
yeah,
there's that. We're not fishing. We're honestly not fishing for that type of recognition.
I get irritated when it.
I know. I can tell. I can tell. It simmer down now.
No, I was just talking about
simmer down now.
Because I was putting together the new Facebook page, which we got a couple thousand people on it now.
Yeah.
For Night Talkers, but like even one of the actors and the producer and all these people like still haven't liked the page. But when I was putting
talking to you, Don.
But they had a diversity info thing that we were like, we had to put like we were veteran owned. Like
really?
It's a movie. Like we're not talking about who owns the movie. We're talking about putting a movie out. But it required like we had like the veteran owned and the
Are you serious? Yeah. We actually had to. Oh my gosh.
We had to put that on.
And so that would be the first time that we've ever like just publicly broadcast that, because none of our other productions we've ever had to do that.
Right.
Okay.
It was like, what do we need to like say that
how many people were casting? Yeah.
Or
I don't know.
Are women, and half of them are men, and half of them are
all about inclusion, and all about diversity. Like we make zero bones about that.
Right.
Like,
I don't want to talk. Like I want to put.
We just do it
out there.
Like that's the thing. We just do it. We don't talk about it. Like that's what you're like. Just do it. Like don't talk about it. Be about it. Right.
Now we need the Shiloh.
Which I'm not saying. Oh, hold on. But just to clarify that, because I know how that's going to be taken right away. I already know how that's going to be taken. I am not saying shut down the conversation, and I'm not saying don't have a conversation about it. What I'm saying is that's not the conversation that we have. We don't talk about that. We talk about nerd news and different things like that. Like I brought up the Velma being gay because I thought it was kind of funny because it's a cartoon character who really cares. But apparently enough people do care that it became like this hot topic issue. It's all up and down Reddit. And I'm just sitting there laughing because I'm like, who cares though?
Yeah.
And there's some people that do, and good for you. If you care, great. I don't.
People come into chat and decide that they can tell you how you're supposed to feel because you're a certain thing.
I guess that's okay.
I mean, that sounds
perfectly logical and reasonable to me. But you know what? Hey, I appreciate you coming into the chat and engaging with us. Yeah. You're always welcome to do so. We don't shut it down. Like we really don't. Like I know he was talking about banning people, but you know what?
That was a joke because if you watch any of
the big time streamers, right? So like if you want to have the conversation that's cool, you're not going to derail the conversation that we're having. We'll engage you. We'll talk to you. You're not going to derail our conversation. But if you want to engage with us, man, that's what the chat room is for. The internet is literally for screaming at the top of your lungs to people. That's not. You ever been to Twitter or Facebook or any type of conversation where even one remote thing is controversial? Sweet God, you could have a 17-paragraph letter of love to
Oh no, like
to Joe Biden. You could have a 17-paragraph letter of love to Joe Biden, and if there's a single criticism in there, someone will find it, and it'll be a 500-comment discussion.
or hey, it's voting time. Remember to go out and vote.
Yeah,
and then
go do it.
people
Go
jump
vote.
on that and like, well, you don't tell me what you're like. I'm not telling you anything. Just go out and do it.
Yeah. I don't ask the polite conversation. I grew up in an old school era, and that's fine. That's me. I don't put it on anybody else. You want to talk about who you voted for? Go ahead. I'm not going to discuss it with you. It's not, presumably not your business, right?
Right.
How am I treating you as a person? That's your business. Am I treating you like a human being? Am I giving you decent attention and care? Like, is those things that are happening? Like, that's who I am, right? The person that I voted for, or the person that I may support in either capacity, does not define me as a person. It just doesn't. It's the person that I think is most capable and candidate
and just
that I believe is best suited for the job.
And just because there are characteristics about you, don't make you a stereotypical thing.
No, not at all.
So having this thing of
I highly encourage anybody who thinks that we are a specific way, or that we have no voice in the conversation. I highly encourage any of you to go back and look through our entire catalog of videos.
This is the very first time we brought it up.
Honestly, we don't talk about it very often. We hate to get political on the show.
In fact,
we generally don't do it.
In fact,
social issues, we just stay the F away from them.
In fact, technically, I literally just came out on
you
the
really did, by the way. I wasn't going to mention it. I wasn't going to make a big deal about it, but you 100% did. Literally on air. And I was just like, that's a deal. That's a big deal, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't know if he realizes he did it. So, here, high five. There, perfect. Hey, proud of you, buddy. There you go. It's out in the open now. I mean, I know you're still not going to have. Well, I mean, yeah. the 7,000 people in India are like, huh, neat,
right?
Now that website makes sense. Oh, sweet God. All right. Anyways. So
no, wait a minute. That makes so much like the person who came and chastised us all came from.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Literally, if you're gonna throw stones, don't go to those websites. We
don't live in a like. We know where you came from.
We have the data.
We know where our ad budget is.
We purposefully put because we get more views if we advertise on porn sites. So
100%, like
literally, somebody
100%.
came from a porn site to give a shit.
That is freaking phenomenal. Oh my God. This show spiraled so fast, and we just never recovered. But this has been one of the best shows that we have ever done, bro. Like 100%. Oh my God! Listen, if you guys like our sense of humor, you absolutely have to go to tshirtmix.com and check out some of the crazy stuff that we've talked about outside of this context. Just like the Amber Heard trial, like we did an entire video about the craziness that's happening with, is it Freevee or Tubi original movie about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. But before they decided to make an entire movie about it, we decided to make a t-shirt. And I think it's rather hilarious. I could continue to talk about it. But once again, you guys have seen him already, ladies and gentlemen, making his second debut of the evening. It's the beautiful, wonderful cartoon Topher. My friend, take it away, Topher.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Need your fix for fun shirts and things? The perfect place to get geeky, fun t-shirts and other merchandise, including tumblers, baseball caps, and so much more, is tshirtmix.com. Hundreds of designs you can choose from, as well as being the home of Geek Public Radio merch store. Come get our faces on your threads, or just grab one of the several funny designs that we have available. Just go to tshirtmix.com and check out all the fun. More designs are added daily. That's tshirtmix.com for all your novelty tees. Have fun, look around, and grab some awesome t-shirts.
All right, everybody. So if you are, one more ad I didn't get to at the beginning of the show, I apologize. One of our partners for the show is, of course, ExpressVPN. If you don't want us knowing what website you came from, if you don't want us to track your data, make sure you go to ExpressVPN. I can't. We're not even on drugs. I'm a professional. If you want to go, if you want to make sure that your work, your home, and Big Brother doesn't track your data, and you don't want two a-holes like us knowing the website you started to view our show from, make sure you check out ExpressVPN. We use it to protect ourselves. I hate people tracking or monitoring my data. ExpressVPN uses a unique country of origin code every single time that you log on. They give you a unique IP, so it becomes incredibly difficult. It takes hackers a billion years to freaking be able to crack the code that ExpressVPN uses. One of the additional benefits that you can get is you can change your country code of origin. Use things like Netflix and Hulu to see shows that are only available in specific regions. You do not want to miss things like that, man. That alone is worth the price of admission for me. But on top of that, if you have things like I have, like which is the gigabit speed of death, right? I get incredible speeds with my internet, man. So I don't want to use an ExpressVPN, or I don't want to use a VPN that's going to choke my signal or my bandwidth. I don't want to do that. ExpressVPN uses a great speed filter, and they're actually able to give you the same great speeds that you have while you're using the VPN. If you use our special offer, you get 12 months absolutely for a bunch of money, but you get 3 months for free. expressvpn.com/geekpublicradio to get your 3 free months on top of the 12 month subscription. That's 15 months of service and protection to keep people from looking at your data. expressvpn.com/geekpublicradio. Stop visiting porn sites. I made it.
Barely.
I couldn't breathe. Oh, that's absolutely phenomenal. Topher, this show has been a wild ride from start to finish, man. I think we're done. We're going to wrap it up. I think we're finished.
That is our time. Thank you, Ray.
That's our time, everybody. I have been crazy. Chris.
I am Topher.
You guys are an awesome part of our geek family. We thank each and every single one of you. Like, share the show with your friends, and even person in the chat room that doesn't agree with our views, man. Spread this out to all your friends, man. Let them see the things that we said. I'm perfectly okay with that too. But anyways, you guys have an absolutely wonderful evening. Thank you once again. Peace.
You've been listening to the GPR podcast, where two old guys talk about old. Talk about new games, movies, most things geeky, and try not to poop in their diapers while they're talking. Thanks for listening to the show. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on Twitter at Free Geek Radio, on Facebook and Instagram at Geek Public Radio, and the website geekpublicradio.com. We'll see you next time.